A distress signal in the void. On the fringes of known space, a lone salvage ship drifted through the starlit expanse. Its pilot, a grizzled human named Zack Ryder, scanned the endless void for any signs of forgotten treasures or lost relics. Suddenly, his sensors picked up a faint distress signal emanating from a nearby moon. Curiosity piqued, Zack altered course to investigate. As he approached, he realized the signal was of alien origin, unlike anything he'd encountered before. Landing on the barren, rocky surface, Zack donned his exosuit and ventured out, following the signal to a hidden cavern. There, he discovered a sight that made his breath catch in his throat. A massive, bull-like alien creature lay collapsed on the ground, its obsidian hide marred by a grotesque, pulsating wound on its hind leg. The creature's eyes, a swirling nebula of colors, fixed on Zack with a mixture of pain and fierce intelligence. In that moment, Zack knew his life would never be the same. An unlikely bond. Zack approached the wounded alien cautiously, his hand resting on the pulse pistol at his hip. The creature let out a low, rumbling growl that shook the very ground beneath Zack's feet. Yet, despite its fearsome size and obvious agony, it made no move to attack. Zack's gaze fell upon the festering wound, a tangle of sickly green veins and oozing pus. He realized the creature would likely die without intervention. Against his better judgment, Zack retrieved the med kit from his ship and set to work, carefully lancing and cleaning the wound under the watchful gaze of the alien. As he worked, Zack couldn't shake the feeling that a bond was forming between them, a connection that transcended the vast differences of their species. When the wound was treated and bandaged, the creature rose to its feet, towering over Zack. For a tense moment, they regarded each other. Then, with a gentle brush of its massive snout against Zack's chest, the alien turned and lumbered off into the depths of the cavern. Zack stood there, heart racing, wondering what he'd just experienced. The hunted becomes the hunter days turned into weeks as Zack remained on the moon, his salvage mission all but forgotten. He found himself drawn to the cavern, spending hours in the company of the alien he'd come to call Bull. As Bull's wound healed, Zack marveled at the creature's strength and resilience. He soon discovered that Bull possessed an uncanny intelligence, communicating through a series of rumbles, snorts, and gestures. Together, they explored the moon's surface, forging an unlikely friendship. However, their peaceful existence was shattered when a sleek, black ship descended from the sky, bearing the insignia of the notorious Orion cartel, a group of ruthless alien hunters. Zack realized with dawning horror that Bull was their target. The cartel's leader, a cruel-faced alien named Zorn, demanded that Zack hand over the beast. When Zack refused, Zorn's men attacked, their weapons blazing. In that moment, Bull sprang into action, his massive form shielding Zack from the onslaught. With a roar that shook the very heavens, Bull charged forward, scattering the hunters like leaves in a gale. Zack joined the fray, his pulse pistol flashing as he fought alongside his alien companion. Together, they sent the Orion cartel fleeing, their ship disappearing into the starry sky. But Zack knew this was only the beginning. The hunters would return, and he and Bull would need to be ready. Secrets of the ancient ruins. In the aftermath of the battle, Zack and Bull set out to uncover the truth behind the cartel's relentless pursuit. Scouring the moon's surface, they stumbled upon ancient ruins hidden beneath the dust of ages. As they explored the crumbling structures, Zack discovered inscriptions that spoke of an ancient alien race, the progenitors who had once inhabited this moon. The inscriptions revealed that the progenitors had created a powerful artifact known as the Nexus Key, capable of unlocking vast reserves of energy. Realization dawned on Zack. The Orion cartel wasn't just hunting Bull for sport. They believed he was the key to finding the Nexus. Determined to unravel the mystery, Zack and Bull delved deeper into the ruins. In a hidden chamber, they discovered a glowing orb that pulsed with an otherworldly light. As Zack reached out to touch it, Bull let out a warning growl. Suddenly, The chamber began to shake, ancient mechanisms grinding to life. A holographic image flickered into existence, revealing a startling truth. Bull was no ordinary alien, but a descendant of the progenitors, genetically engineered to be a living key. With mounting urgency, Zack realized they needed to find the Nexus before the Orion cartel did. The fate of the galaxy hung in the balance. A race against time. Armed with their newfound knowledge, Zack and Bull raced across the stars, following the clues left behind by the progenitors. They braved treacherous asteroid fields, outsmarted ruthless bounty hunters, and forged alliances with unlikely allies, all in a desperate bid to stay one step ahead of the Orion cartel. As they journeyed deeper into uncharted space, Zack and Bull's bond grew stronger. Zack marveled at Bull's uncanny ability to navigate through the cosmos, his instincts guiding them toward their ultimate destination. However, their progress was halted when they found themselves caught in the middle of a raging space battle between two warring alien factions. Lasers crisscrossed the void, ships exploding in dazzling displays of destruction. In the chaos, Zack and Bull's ship took a direct hit, sending them spiraling toward a nearby planet. As they hurtled through the atmosphere, alarms blaring and systems failing, Zack knew they were in for a rough landing. With a deafening roar, their ship plowed into the planet's surface, kicking up clouds of dust and debris. Miraculously, Zack and Bull emerged from the wreckage unscathed. But as they surveyed their surroundings, they realized they were not alone. A group of heavily armed aliens surrounded them, their weapons trained on Zack and Bull. The leader stepped forward, a smirk playing across his reptilian features. Well, he hissed. What have we here? Revelations and betrayals. The aliens who had captured Zack and Bull belonged to a secretive organization known as the Shadowhands, a group of galactic treasure hunters who had been searching for the Nexus for centuries. Their leader, a cunning alien named Raza, offered Zack a deal: join forces with the Shadowhands, and they would share the power of the Nexus. Zack hesitated, torn between his loyalty to Bull and the temptation of untold riches. In that moment of indecision, chaos erupted. The Orion cartel had tracked them down, launching a surprise attack on the Shadowhands compound. In the ensuing firefight, Zack and Bull found themselves fighting side by side once more, their bond stronger than ever. As they battled their way through the cartel's forces, Zack made a startling discovery. Raza had been working with the cartel all along, planning to betray the Shadowhands and claim the Nexus for himself. Zack confronted Raza, their weapons locked in a tense standoff. In that moment, Bull made a fateful decision. With a mighty leap, he knocked Raza to the ground, pinning him beneath his massive bulk. Raza's weapon clattered to the floor, and he looked up at Zack with a mixture of fear and hatred. "You've chosen your side," Raza spat. "Now you'll die with that beast." But Zack simply smiled, his hand resting on Bull's broad head. "He's not a beast," Zack said softly. "He's my friend." Together, Zack and Bull fought their way out of the compound, leaving the Shadowhands and the Orion cartel to their fate. The final showdown. Battered but unbroken, Zack and Bull finally reached the location of the Nexus, a remote, uncharted world at the edge of known space. As they descended through the planet's atmosphere, they beheld a sight that took their breath away. A massive, ancient structure that pulsed with an otherworldly energy. Landing their ship near the base of the structure, Zack and Bull made their way inside, marveling at the intricate carvings and glowing glyphs that lined the walls. At the heart of the structure, they found the Nexus itself, a swirling vortex of pure energy that thrummed with power. Bull approached the Nexus, his eyes glowing with an inner light. As he drew closer, the Nexus began to pulse in sync with his heartbeat, the connection between them growing stronger with each passing moment. Suddenly, a barrage of laser fire erupted around them. The Orion cartel had arrived, led by a vengeful Zorn. A fierce battle ensued, with Zack and Bull fighting side by side against overwhelming odds. As the battle reached its climax, Zorn managed to corner Zack, his weapon aimed at the human's heart. In that moment, Bull let out a deafening roar, charging forward and throwing himself between Zack and Zorn. The laser blast struck Bull square in the chest, and he crumpled to the ground, his life force ebbing away. Zack fell to his knees beside his fallen friend, tears streaming down his face. With a trembling hand, he reached out and touched the Nexus, feeling its power flowing through him. In a blinding flash of light, the Nexus exploded, its energy cascading outward in a shockwave that engulfed the entire planet. When the dust settled, Zack found himself alone. The Orion cartel vanished, and the ancient structure reduced to rubble. But as he looked down at his hands, he realized that the power of the Nexus now resided within him. A final gift from his friend, Bull. With a heavy heart, Zack returned to his ship, setting out into the vast expanse of space. He knew that his adventures with Bull had changed him forever, and that he would spend the rest of his days honoring the memory of the brave alien who had sacrificed everything for him. And somewhere out there, among the stars, he knew that Bull's spirit lived on, watching over him, guiding him, and reminding him of the unbreakable bond they had forged, a bond that would endure for all eternity.